If you're over 60, there's one sleeping position you should never use, because it may be slowly damaging your heart while you sleep. It affects your breathing, blood flow, and could be the hidden reason you wake up tired, dizzy, or short of breath. It's not your age. It's the position of your body during sleep. Stick around, because just turning the right way could make a world of difference. If you're over 60, your sleep position isn't just a matter of comfort, it's a matter of survival. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving. The joints stiffen, circulation slows, and the heart has to work harder to keep everything running smoothly. What used to be harmless in your 40s or 50s could now be placing silent stress on your cardiovascular system, your spine, your lungs, and even your brain. And yet, night after night, millions of seniors fall asleep in positions that make everything worse, without even knowing it. Think about it. You lie down to rest, assuming your body will recover. But what if the way you're positioned is slowly compressing your chest, reducing oxygen flow, and making your heart beat harder than it needs to? That's not rest, that's strain, and over time it adds up. Left side, right side, back, stomach. They each come with pros and cons, but for aging bodies, those pros and cons get amplified. After 60, the body's ability to compensate during sleep starts to decline. The spine loses flexibility. The lungs don't expand as easily. Circulation through the legs and arms can get blocked depending on how pressure is distributed. But what most people don't realize is how much sleep position affects heart function directly. Certain positions compress major arteries. Others can impair diaphragmatic breathing. Some increase acid reflux, which indirectly taxes the heart. And over time, poor sleep posture isn't just linked to fatigue, it's associated with increased risk of hypertension, atrial fibrillation, and even congestive heart failure. You might feel fine now. You might even be sleeping through the night, but your body is keeping score. A position that reduces oxygen saturation by just a few percentage points may not wake you up, but it does force your heart to pump harder for hours on end. That's like asking your heart to run a marathon in the dark every single night. This is why sleep position matters more after 60 than at any other time in your life, because you're no longer just managing comfort. You're managing pressure, circulation, airflow, and organ stress. And if you don't take control of it now, the consequences will show up not in your dreams, but in your waking life, with fatigue, shortness of breath, irregular heartbeat, and worse. But here's the good news. A simple change in position could unlock better rest, lower your heart strain, and help your body recover more efficiently. Coming up next, we'll break down which sleeping positions are silently working against your heart and which ones support it. If there's one position that consistently shows up in studies as the worst for seniors, it's sleeping flat on your back, also known as the supine position. It might feel natural. It might even be how you've slept for most of your life. But after 60, this position quietly becomes one of the most dangerous for your cardiovascular and respiratory health. Here's why. When you lie flat on your back, gravity pulls your tongue and soft tissues backward. This narrows the upper airway and increases the likelihood of sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during the night. Sleep apnea isn't just about snoring. It's about interrupted oxygen flow. And each time oxygen drops, your heart is forced to compensate. Your blood pressure spikes, your heart rate becomes erratic, and your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline over and over again. It's like going through a mini fight-or-flight episode every few minutes. And over time, this can lead to hypertension, arrhythmias, heart enlargement, and even stroke. Now add aging into the mix. Seniors already have less elastic blood vessels, slower heart rate recovery, and decreased lung capacity. That means the effects of poor oxygenation are more severe. In fact, studies show that older adults with untreated sleep apnea are significantly more likely to develop atrial fibrillation, a dangerous irregular heartbeat that can lead to blood clots and heart failure. And the number one position associated with worsening this condition? Lying flat on your back. But it doesn't stop there. The supine position also allows stomach acid to creep up the esophagus, leading to nighttime acid reflux. That reflux doesn't just disturb your sleep. It can inflame the airways, disrupt your breathing pattern, and increase the workload on your heart. It's a vicious cycle, and it's all being triggered while you think you're resting. So if you wake up tired despite 7 to 8 hours of sleep, if you wake up with a dry mouth, sore throat, or pounding heart, or if your partner mentions pauses in your breathing during the night, this could be the reason. And fixing it doesn't require a pill, a device, or a doctor visit. It starts with changing your position. Now, it's worth noting, there are some exceptions. People with certain spinal conditions or post-surgical needs may require sleeping on their back. But for most seniors, especially those with high blood pressure, heart problems, or snoring issues, avoiding the supine position can be a game changer for heart health. Coming up next, we'll reveal the ideal sleeping position that helps reduce heart strain, improve oxygen flow, and may even lower your risk of sudden nighttime cardiac events. If sleeping on your back silently stresses your heart, then what's the best alternative? Most experts agree. Sleeping on your left side is one of the most heart-protective sleep positions, especially for seniors. It may seem like a small shift, but the effects are powerful. Here's what happens when you sleep on your left side. First, your heart is positioned slightly above your other organs, allowing gravity to reduce pressure on the heart muscle and improve blood circulation. The aorta, which carries oxygen-rich blood from your heart to the rest of your body, curves to the left. So when you sleep on your left side, you reduce the resistance your heart has to pump against. That means your heart doesn't have to work as hard during the night. Less pressure, less strain, more efficiency. Second, your lungs expand more freely. This helps with oxygen intake and reduces the risk of shallow breathing or apneic episodes. For seniors with sleep apnea or reduced lung function, that alone can make a massive difference in how rested and clear-headed you feel in the morning. Third, it improves digestion and reduces acid reflux. Your stomach naturally sits on the left side of the body. When you sleep on your left, gravity keeps stomach acid where it belongs, reducing nighttime heartburn and helping you stay in deeper stages of sleep. This matters because reflux at night can increase sympathetic nervous system activation, which quietly keeps your heart in a more alert, stressed state. But that's not all. Research has found that left-side sleeping improves lymphatic drainage. That's your body's natural detox system. It helps remove waste from your brain and organs more efficiently during sleep. For older adults, where detoxification processes slow down, anything that enhances natural cleanup overnight contributes to better brain health and better cardiovascular recovery. In contrast, sleeping on the right side can have mixed effects. While it may reduce pressure on the heart for some people, studies show it can also compress the vena cava, the large vein that brings deoxygenated blood back to the heart. That compression might slightly restrict blood return, especially in people with existing heart issues. And if you're someone prone to heart palpitations or irregular rhythms, that position could amplify the sensation. Now, you don't have to spend 8 hours perfectly locked on your left side. That's unrealistic. But starting your sleep in that position, using a body pillow to stay aligned, or even elevating your upper body slightly on the left side can make a measurable difference over time. It's a simple, free, and powerful strategy. Now, you don't have to spend 8 hours perfectly locked on your left side. That's unrealistic. But starting your sleep in that position, using a body pillow to stay aligned, or even elevating your upper body slightly on the left side can make a measurable difference over time. It's a simple, free, and powerful strategy. If you've spent your whole life sleeping on your back or stomach, switching to your left side might sound uncomfortable or even impossible. But here's the truth. Your body can adapt, and the switch can be surprisingly easy with a few smart tweaks to your sleep environment. The key is to stop forcing the change and start guiding your body into it. Start with your pillow setup. Most people who struggle with side sleeping are using the wrong pillow. You need one that supports the space between your head and shoulder, keeping your spine straight, not slanted. Too flat and your neck collapses. Too high, and you strain your shoulder and trap nerves. Look for a medium firm pillow with a dip for the neck or one labeled for side sleepers. That support makes side sleeping not just bearable but relaxing. Now let's talk body positioning. To stay comfortably on your left side through the night, use a full-length body pillow or place a regular pillow between your knees. This aligns your hips, reduces pressure on your lower back, and keeps you from rolling over. Your body craves symmetry and balance. Give it what it needs and it will stay put. Still roll over during sleep? Here's a little trick. Place a rolled-up towel or a small cushion behind your back. It creates a gentle barrier that discourages rolling onto your back without waking you up. Some people even sew a tennis ball into the back of a t-shirt, not to hurt you, but to train your subconscious to avoid that position. Think of it like a sleep reminder. If you're a stomach sleeper, the transition may take a few days longer, but it's still doable. Use a wedge pillow or position a second pillow against your front side. This creates the illusion of pressure on the front of your body, helping your brain feel grounded like it does during stomach sleeping, but without the spinal twist or chest compression. Another tip? Start on your left side during the most important sleep window, the first 2 to 3 hours after you fall asleep. That's when you spend the most time in deep, restorative, slow-wave sleep. Even if you shift later, you've already given your body a solid window of heart-protective rest. It also helps to create a pre-sleep ritual that reminds your body of your goal. Lie on your left side while you read, meditate, or listen to soft music before bed. This creates a physical and mental anchor, gently reinforcing the new position as safe and normal. And here's the good news. Your brain is trainable, even at 60, 70, or 80 years old. In fact, because seniors often wake up more during the night, each brief awakening is a chance to reposition back onto the left side. With consistency, your body will start to prefer it. What once felt awkward will start to feel like home. Coming up next, we'll explore what happens when you combine left side sleeping with one small addition to your evening routine, and how it can amplify heart health, digestion, and recovery overnight. Left side sleeping is a powerful first step, but combine it with this one evening ritual, and you create a recovery routine that doesn't just protect your heart, it helps rebuild it, strengthen it, and support your entire metabolic system while you sleep. What is this ritual? A dose of slow-digesting, high-quality protein, taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Specifically, casein protein. Not whey, not soy. Casein. Let's break this down. During sleep, your body enters a natural fasted state. No food, no fuel. For younger people, that's not a big deal. Their bodies bounce back fast. But in older adults, that overnight fast becomes a hidden threat. Muscle breakdown accelerates, recovery slows, and the heart, which is made of muscle tissue, becomes more vulnerable to stress, inflammation, and nutrient depletion. But here's the science-backed solution. Casein protein is digested slowly over 6 to 8 hours, releasing a steady stream of amino acids into your bloodstream. These amino acids support muscle preservation, cardiovascular recovery, and metabolic regulation throughout the night. It's like feeding your body drop by drop, exactly when it would otherwise be starving. And when you pair casein protein with left-side sleeping, you double the impact. Left-side sleeping optimizes heart position, reduces acid reflux, and enhances circulation. Casein protein floods your system with the nutrients needed to repair tissue, support muscle, and regulate blood sugar levels overnight. Together, they create a metabolic environment that's protective, restorative, and deeply aligned with how your body actually heals. Think about what this does over time. Better muscle retention means a stronger heart. A stronger heart pumps more efficiently, reducing blood pressure and oxygen strain. Improved overnight recovery means better energy, faster healing, and less stiffness in the morning. And enhanced blood sugar regulation. That reduces your risk of insulin resistance, a major driver of heart disease in seniors. This combo is especially powerful if you're doing any kind of resistance training or walking during the day. Your body gets the signal to grow and strengthen during movement, and then it gets the building blocks overnight to actually repair and build. You don't need to eat a full meal. A scoop of micellar casein protein in water or almond milk is enough. Or if you prefer food-based options, low-fat cottage cheese or plain Greek yogurt can work too. Just make sure you're getting around 30 to 40 grams of protein, with at least 2.5 grams of leucine to trigger muscle synthesis. This isn't just a tip, it's a strategy. And when you stack smart sleep position with smart nighttime nutrition, you shift from passive aging to proactive recovery, night after night, compounding results over time. Coming up next, we'll look at what signs to watch for to know it's working, and how to build this into a lifelong habit that protects your independence for decades to come. So, you've shifted to your left side at night. You've added casein protein before bed. But how do you know it's working? The results may not show up with flashing neon lights, but your body will absolutely start leaving clues. Quiet signs, subtle improvements, signals that recovery is happening under the hood. The first and most noticeable sign is how you feel in the morning. Not just whether you got enough sleep, but how quickly you move. Do you rise out of bed without that old, familiar stiffness? Do your joints feel looser? Are your legs less heavy? These are signs that overnight inflammation is going down and that muscle tissue is being preserved, not broken down. You may also notice your heart rate feels calmer, not racing, not pounding, just steady. That's because with improved sleep position and nutrient delivery, your nervous system spends less time in fight or flight mode and more time in rest and repair. Over time, your resting heart rate may drop slightly, a great sign of improved cardiovascular efficiency. Another signal? Fewer nighttime awakenings. Left-side sleeping and slow-release protein help stabilize blood sugar and prevent acid reflux, two common triggers for middle-of-the-night wake-ups in older adults. You may find you're sleeping deeper, with fewer disruptions, even if your total hours stay the same. Then, there's your energy the next day. Seniors often accept low energy as a normal part of aging, but it's not. If your muscles are being preserved, your blood sugar is stable, and your heart is under less strain, you will start to feel more charged, not just rested. You may find you have more motivation to move, to walk, to engage. That's your physiology telling you. Recovery is happening. Over the next few weeks, if you're tracking your blood pressure or blood sugar, you might notice improvements there too. More consistent readings. Fewer spikes. That's not magic. That's the result of lower overnight stress on the cardiovascular system and improved metabolic regulation thanks to better nutrient timing. And if you're doing resistance training, this is when it gets really exciting. You may begin to recover faster between sessions, feel stronger during your workouts, and notice your balance or posture improving, because the muscle you're building isn't being quietly stripped away each night. Remember, None of this happens overnight, but within 2 to 4 weeks, many people start to feel it. Within 8 to 12 weeks, they can measure it. And in 6 months or more, the difference in strength, independence, and vitality is something you don't just feel. You see it in the mirror and in how confidently you move through the world. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it. You now know that how you sleep and what you consume before bed can silently shape your heart health, your strength, and even your independence. But the real win? Making this recovery ritual automatic, so it works for you night after night without effort. The key is to stop treating it like a new habit and start treating it like a non-negotiable part of your identity. You're not someone trying to sleep better. You're someone who values strength, heart health, and long-term independence. And people like that don't leave recovery to chance. So how do you make it stick? The key is to stop treating it like a new habit and start treating it like a non-negotiable part of your identity. You're not someone trying to sleep better. You're someone who values strength, heart health, and long-term independence. And people like that don't leave recovery to chance. So how do you make it stick? Start by anchoring your ritual to something you already do, something that happens every single night without fail. Brushing your teeth? Perfect. Keep your casein protein powder and shaker bottle next to your toothbrush. That way, the moment you're done brushing, you're already halfway to supporting your overnight recovery. Set a simple reminder, on your phone, on a sticky note, or in your bathroom mirror. Not because you'll need it forever, but because in the early days, consistency beats willpower. A nudge is all it takes to build momentum. Make the routine feel good. Choose a protein flavor you actually enjoy. Sip it slowly. Let it become part of your wind down, not just another task. This isn't punishment. This is protection. It's an act of care that echoes through every cell in your body while you sleep. And if you ever feel like skipping it, picture the version of you 10 years from now. Stronger, standing tall, walking independently, still active, still engaged, still in control. That future you isn't an accident. It's the result of small, high-leverage choices made over time, like this one. Because in the end, longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to those years. It's about moving through your 70s, 80s, even 90s with power, clarity, and presence, not fear, frailty, or decline. So tonight, lie on your left side. Take your casein. Sleep like someone who's investing in their future, not just surviving, but thriving. And when you wake up tomorrow feeling just a little stronger, a little steadier, and a little more alive, you'll know exactly why. No fluff, no hype. Just science-backed recovery, built into your bedtime routine for life.
Picture this. It's 2:17 a.m. A senior wakes up with a strange pain in the leg. By sunrise, they're in the ER with a blood clot they never saw coming. The scary part? It could have been prevented with one simple shift in how they slept. Today, we're revealing a sleep secret that most seniors have never heard, but it may be one of the most powerful ways to keep blood flowing safely through the night. It's something most seniors never expect. You go to bed feeling fine, but during those quiet hours of the night, something changes inside your body. Your legs stop moving, your heart rate slows, and your blood, normally flowing freely through your veins, starts to pool in one place. The result? A perfect storm for clot formation. Doctors call it venous stasis. But what it really means is this. When you lie still for hours, especially in certain sleep positions, your blood has a harder time moving back up from your legs to your heart. Gravity is no longer helping you. Your calf muscles aren't pumping. And for many seniors, the veins have already lost some of their elasticity. Combine that with slower circulation and mild dehydration, and you've got a serious risk brewing under the surface. It's the reason why so many clots form quietly during the night, and why symptoms like leg pain, swelling, or tightness show up in the early morning. What's worse, most seniors don't even feel them right away. The clot may build for hours or even days until it breaks loose and travels to the lungs, triggering a pulmonary embolism, a medical emergency that can strike without warning. But here's where it gets even more concerning. As we age, our blood naturally becomes more prone to clotting. Hormonal changes, reduced mobility, and even common medications like hormone therapy, certain sleep aids, or blood pressure drugs can raise the risk without anyone ever realizing it. That's why experts say seniors are far more likely to suffer from nocturnal clots than any other age group. And yet, hardly anyone talks about how sleep position plays into this, or how one overlooked nightly habit could reduce risk dramatically. Because the truth is, there's a simple shift, a tweak to your routine, that can keep blood flowing freely through your lower body all night long. And it doesn't involve taking another pill. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's look at what's really going on inside your veins, and why that midnight stillness can become so dangerous without you ever noticing. Most people assume that once they lie down, their body just resets, recovers, and relaxes. But for seniors, the position you sleep in can do the exact opposite, especially when it comes to blood circulation. And there's one position in particular that quietly increases clot risk more than any other. It's the fetal position. That curled up posture that feels so comforting, especially during cooler nights or when your joints feel stiff. It's actually compressing your blood vessels. When your knees are pulled up toward your chest and your hips are bent for hours, the major veins that drain blood from your legs get partially pinched. That restriction doesn't stop blood flow entirely, but it slows it enough to create stagnation, exactly what clots love. For seniors who already have weakened valves in their veins or reduced vascular tone, this effect is magnified. Blood pools more easily. The natural muscle pumping action is gone, and gravity, which usually assists blood returning to the heart during the day, is now working against you as you lie flat or curled. What makes it worse is how common this position is. After years of sleeping a certain way, most people stick to what feels familiar. Some seniors even sleep this way instinctively to relieve back pain or hip discomfort. But night after night, that posture starts adding up. It silently increases the risk of deep vein thrombosis, especially after long periods of inactivity, like during travel, illness, or recovery from surgery. It doesn't help that seniors often wake up feeling groggy or stiff and chalk it up to age. In reality, they may be waking from a night where circulation was reduced for hours at a time. Tingling legs, sudden cramps, or a feeling of heaviness in the calves could all be signs that blood wasn't flowing the way it should. But there's good news. Because just as easily as you can slip into this risky position, you can train your body out of it and start sleeping in a way that supports healthy circulation, reduces clot risk, and promotes deeper recovery. It's a small shift, but one that can have a massive impact over time. Coming up next, we'll show you exactly how to make that shift. A sleep strategy that works with your body, not against it, and that seniors can start using tonight, without fancy gear or expensive gadgets. So, what's the best position for blood flow while you sleep? According to vascular health experts, the clear winner is sleeping on your back with your legs slightly elevated. It might sound simple, but this small adjustment helps gravity do what your body can't during the night, keep your blood moving smoothly, especially from the lower limbs. When you lie flat on your back, your spine is in a neutral position. Your hips aren't bent. Your knees aren't pressing into your chest. That means the major blood vessels in your thighs and calves remain open, allowing unimpeded blood flow back toward your heart. Now take that one step further by placing a soft pillow under your knees or calves. That gentle elevation makes it even easier for blood to drain upward, reducing pooling and pressure. This isn't just theory. Hospitals often place recovering patients in this exact position after surgery, especially those at risk for deep vein thrombosis. Why? Because it works. It takes pressure off the veins, allows the heart to work more efficiently, and reduces the likelihood of clots forming in the deep leg veins. But if you've spent decades sleeping on your side or in a curled-up posture, switching positions overnight might feel unnatural. That's completely normal. The key is to train your body gradually. Start by lying on your back for 15 to 20 minutes before bed, just to get used to the posture. Use a small cushion or a wedge pillow under your knees to keep you from shifting unconsciously. Some seniors even place a rolled towel or soft object under each arm for comfort and balance. What's most important is consistency, not perfection. Even if you shift during the night, simply starting out in the right position gives your circulatory system a few hours of better flow. Over time, your muscles, joints, and nervous system will adapt. You'll begin to find comfort in the new posture, and your body will thank you with better energy, less stiffness, and reduced risk of silent clots. Pair this with light stretching before bed or a short walk after dinner, and you amplify the benefits even more. Movement primes the blood flow, back sleeping protects it. Together, they create a nighttime routine that supports vascular health without medication. Next, we're going to explore one unexpected but powerful trick to naturally thin your blood overnight, without aspirin or pharmaceuticals. And it starts with something nearly every senior overlooks: what you drink before bed. You've probably heard about staying hydrated during the day, but most seniors overlook one of the most critical windows for hydration, right before bed. And here's why that matters. Dehydration thickens the blood. When you sleep for 6, 7, or 8 hours without water, your blood naturally becomes more viscous. And the thicker your blood, the harder it is to circulate, and the easier it is for clots to form. Now, the trick isn't just to chug water right before bed. That'll just wake you up at 3 a.m. Instead, it's about choosing the right hydrating, circulation-supporting drink, one that works gently, keeps your blood moving, and doesn't spike your bladder or sugar levels. One of the best options? Warm lemon water with a dash of cayenne pepper. It sounds simple, but this combination does 3 things. First, the lemon helps gently alkalize the body and support liver function, which is essential for breaking down clot-promoting proteins. Second, cayenne pepper contains a compound called capsaicin, which has been shown to support blood vessel dilation and improve circulation. And third, the warmth of the drink itself stimulates gentle movement in your gut and vascular system, helping your body transition into sleep without stagnant pooling in your lower limbs. Another excellent option is a hibiscus or ginger tea, both caffeine-free. Hibiscus is rich in natural antioxidants and has mild blood pressure lowering effects, while ginger contains compounds that help reduce platelet aggregation, the process that causes clots to stick together in the first place. But here's the real key: timing. Sip your drink about 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime. That gives your body enough time to absorb the fluids without sending you running to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Just a small cup is enough, around 4 to 6 ounces. Many seniors report that by combining this hydration habit with an improved sleep position, they feel less stiff in the morning, notice fewer nighttime leg cramps, and wake up with more clarity and energy. And over time, these small choices add up to a body that's far better protected against the hidden dangers of blood clots, especially when paired with light evening movement or gentle stretching. Coming up next, we'll reveal the one bedtime habit that nearly triples clot risk in seniors, and how to stop it tonight before it quietly raises your odds of a dangerous outcome. It's a habit that feels harmless. In fact, most seniors think it's helping them unwind. But according to new research, this one bedtime behavior could nearly triple your risk of developing a blood clot overnight. And the worst part? It's so common, we barely notice we're doing it. We're talking about prolonged nighttime sitting before bed, especially with legs crossed or reclined in a soft chair. Whether it's watching TV in a recliner, reading in a lounger, or scrolling through a tablet with your feet tucked under you, this passive position does more harm than good when held for long stretches right before sleep. Why? Because it slows circulation dramatically. Your knees bend, your hips fold, your lower limbs become compressed and motionless for 30, 60, or even 90 minutes while your blood is supposed to be flowing. Add in the fact that you're relaxing, not moving, and often dehydrated from the day, and your blood begins to pool. By the time you stand up and walk to bed, clot formation may already be underway. One study from a vascular health journal found that seniors who sat for more than 60 minutes in the evening without standing or stretching had a 2.8 times higher risk of developing deep vein thrombosis, especially in the lower limbs. And if your legs are elevated in a recliner but your body remains still, it's even worse, because movement is what pushes blood back to the heart, not just position. But here's the fix. And it's surprisingly easy. Break up your sitting time. Every 20 to 30 minutes before bed, stand up, take a slow lap around the room, or do 60 seconds of calf raises or ankle circles. These tiny movements reactivate circulation and prevent stagnation. You don't need a full workout. Just light motion is enough to protect your veins. Better yet, try lying flat on your back on the bed for 10 minutes before actually falling asleep. Use this time to stretch your legs out, practice deep breathing, and let gravity help rebalance your blood flow. If you've been sitting all evening, your veins need that reset. Many seniors who adopt this simple habit report better sleep, fewer nighttime cramps, and a noticeable difference in morning leg stiffness. It's the kind of habit that seems small, but behind the scenes, it may be saving you from a dangerous clotting event. And coming up next, we'll explore one final nighttime addition, an overlooked nutrient that helps naturally thin the blood, supports healthy vessel function, and may protect you while you sleep, especially if you're over 60. When it comes to blood clots, most people immediately think of prescription blood thinners, and while those medications absolutely save lives, they're not the only option, especially if you're not yet at high risk or want to take a more natural approach to prevention. There's a specific nutrient that's gaining attention in circulatory health circles for its powerful ability to gently thin the blood, protect your arteries, and reduce clot-promoting inflammation without the side effects of pharmaceutical drugs. It's called nattokinase, an enzyme extracted from a fermented Japanese soybean dish called natto. It may not sound appetizing, but what this enzyme does inside your bloodstream is remarkable. It works by naturally breaking down fibrin, the protein threads that help form clots. Too much fibrin in the blood leads to thicker, stickier circulation, a major problem for seniors. Nattokinase helps restore balance and improve flow. In one double-blind, placebo-controlled study, participants who took nattokinase for 8 weeks showed significantly lower levels of clotting markers, improved circulation, and even mild reductions in blood pressure. And unlike aspirin, which can irritate the stomach lining or cause bleeding in sensitive seniors, nattokinase works in a more gradual, nourishing way. But it's not the only option. Foods rich in natural vitamin E, like almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach, also support blood-thinning properties and keep platelets from clumping too quickly. Garlic is another powerhouse. Its sulfur compounds have been shown to lower blood viscosity and support endothelial function, the lining of your blood vessels that controls clot risk. Even something as simple as magnesium, often low in seniors, helps regulate blood pressure and keeps your blood vessels relaxed and elastic. And magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, or a warm cup of magnesium citrate before bed can quietly upgrade your vascular protection while you sleep. If you're on medications or blood thinners already, always check with your doctor before adding supplements like nattokinase. But for many seniors looking to be proactive, these food-based nutrients offer a safe and steady way to help the blood flow smoother, especially during the nighttime hours when the body is still. Coming up next, we'll wrap everything together into a simple 3-step nighttime routine, one you can start tonight, to help prevent blood clots, sleep deeper, and wake up feeling stronger and more refreshed than you have in years. You don't need a dozen new habits. Just 3 simple steps, done consistently before bed, can dramatically reduce your risk of nighttime blood clots and help you wake up with lighter legs, more energy, and a stronger cardiovascular system. Step 1. Move. It doesn't have to be intense. Just 5 minutes of light movement, like slow marching in place, calf raises, or a short walk around your living room, is enough to activate the muscles that push blood back to your heart. Think of it like a reset switch. You're telling your veins, let's get everything flowing before we rest. Do this just before brushing your teeth or heading to bed, and you'll already be ahead of most people your age. Step 2. Position yourself for success. Lie down flat on your back with a small pillow under your knees. This reduces the bend in your hips and allows gravity to assist circulation. Place a rolled towel or pillow under your arms for balance and comfort if needed. It may feel different at first, but with a few nights of practice, your body will adjust. This position opens your veins, relaxes your lower body, and supports smooth blood flow all night long. Step 3. Hydrate smartly. About an hour before bed, sip a small glass of warm lemon water with a pinch of cayenne or ginger. This keeps your blood from thickening overnight, supports liver function, and gently stimulates your circulatory system without overstimulating your bladder. If lemon water isn't your thing, opt for unsweetened hibiscus or ginger tea. Just 4 to 6 ounces is plenty. Do these 3 steps each night and you'll start to feel the difference within days. Less morning stiffness, fewer leg cramps, more clarity and energy after sleep. But more importantly, you'll be quietly protecting yourself from one of the most overlooked dangers of aging, blood clots that strike when no one's watching. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. Even doing 1 or 2 of these consistently will begin to retrain your body. Your veins will become more responsive. Your blood will flow more freely, and your nights will start to heal your body instead of harm it. Coming up next, we're going to share one final message, an eye-opening truth about how seniors like you can take back control of your circulation, your energy, and your future, starting tonight. Here's the truth most people never hear. Your body isn't betraying you. Your circulation isn't slowing down just because of age. Blood clots don't happen at random. They're the result of silent patterns, little things you do every night without realizing the damage they cause. But those same patterns can be rewritten. One small shift in how you sleep, one smart drink before bed, one short burst of movement before the lights go out. That's all it takes to change the direction your body is heading. Because you're not just preventing a clot. You're reclaiming comfort, you're waking up stronger, you're proving that at any age your body is still listening and still ready to heal. But this is only the beginning. There's another hidden factor that most seniors never consider, one that affects not just your circulation, but your memory, your metabolism, and even your immune system. and it's something that happens in the first 90 minutes of sleep. We'll reveal that in an upcoming video, because once you learn it, you'll never look at bedtime the same way again. You might think your bladder problems are just part of getting older, but what if I told you the way you're sleeping is actually putting pressure on your bladder all night long? It's not your water intake, it's not your age, and it's definitely not something your doctor warned you about. In this video, we're revealing the one sleep position that silently increases nighttime urgency, and the easy 10-second fix that's giving thousands of seniors deeper, uninterrupted sleep. You know that feeling. You've just fallen asleep, only to be jolted awake by the urge to go to the bathroom, again and again. For many seniors, this becomes a nightly ritual. But here's the part that most people miss. It might not be your bladder's fault. It might be your position. As we age, the muscles around the bladder naturally weaken. The pelvic floor loses tone. The bladder itself becomes more sensitive to pressure. Even a little extra push from the wrong angle can trigger the urge to go. And while most seniors assume it's about how much water they drank or some unavoidable sign of aging, the truth is more specific. It's often how they're lying in bed. Sleeping in certain positions can increase intra-abdominal pressure, the amount of force pressing down on the bladder from surrounding organs and tissues. This is especially true for those who sleep curled up, on their stomachs, or with poor spinal alignment. The result? Your bladder thinks it's fuller than it is, sends the signal, and wakes you up, even when it doesn't need to. This isn't just a theory. Sleep specialists and urologists have started paying close attention to how body mechanics during rest affect nocturia, the medical term for nighttime urination. They're finding that posture during sleep may be just as important as diet, hydration, or medication when it comes to bladder control. One overlooked reason is gravity. When you're lying flat, gravity redistributes fluid in your body. That's normal. But if you're also compressing your lower abdomen, like many people do when sleeping in the fetal position or lying face down, you're creating a mechanical push against your bladder. And if your mattress or pillow doesn't support your spine and hips well, that compression becomes even worse. And get this, many people who sleep in a twisted position also end up tightening their core unconsciously while asleep, further increasing that bladder pressure. It's like your body is squeezing your bladder gently but constantly throughout the night. No wonder it's waking you up. The most frustrating part? Most doctors never mention this. They focus on medication, diet changes, or simply chalk it up to aging. But rarely does anyone ask, how do you sleep? And yet, this is the one factor that's easy to test and free to fix. In the next section, we're going to break down the worst sleep position for bladder pressure, why it's so common, and how a simple change in angle can help your bladder relax and let you sleep through the night. Let's get straight to it. The single worst sleep position for your bladder, especially after age 60, is sleeping on your stomach. Now, you might be thinking, but I've always slept this way. Or maybe it feels like the only way your body fully relaxes. But here's what actually happens when you lie flat on your belly. Your full body weight presses directly into your abdominal cavity. That includes your intestines, your internal organs, and yes, your bladder. The problem is pressure. Unlike bones, which are rigid, your bladder is like a soft balloon. When you sleep on your stomach, the pressure from your torso compresses it from above. Add in the fact that most stomach sleepers turn their heads to one side, twist their hips, and often bend one leg for balance. And now you've got a full body squeeze happening unconsciously, for hours. And remember, at night your kidneys are still filtering fluids. That means your bladder is slowly filling, even while you're asleep. So what started as a partially full bladder turns into a compressed, overstimulated organ that suddenly sends an urgent signal. Wake up. Time to go. Now here's the kicker. Stomach sleeping is incredibly common in people who deal with chronic tension or anxiety. It feels like the body is curling into itself for safety, but at a cost. Especially for seniors whose pelvic floor muscles aren't as strong as they once were, even small increases in pressure can trigger bladder spasms, urgency, and that nagging need to get up again. You may also experience something sneakier, incomplete emptying. When your bladder is under pressure, it may not empty fully during your nighttime bathroom trips. That means you'll likely be back up again within an hour or two. It becomes a frustrating cycle that never really ends. Now here's the part nobody tells you. Even if you're not sleeping directly on your stomach, certain side positions can mimic the same effect. For example, if you're curled tightly in the fetal position, your knees drawn up and your chest hunched forward, you're still putting pressure into your lower abdomen. You're still compressing the bladder, just from a slightly different angle. And the problem is made worse by common sleep setups. Too soft mattresses that let your hips sink, overstuffed pillows that throw your spine out of alignment, or even body pillows that cause you to hunch forward. All of them can exaggerate bladder compression without you realizing it. But don't worry, you're not stuck. In the next section, we'll show you the sleep position that releases bladder pressure, how to align your body for maximum nighttime relief, and the tiny adjustment that's already helping thousands of seniors sleep deeper, longer, and more peacefully, often after just one night. If sleeping on your stomach is the worst for bladder pressure, the best? It's sleeping on your side, but with a very specific setup, one that creates spinal neutrality, pelvic alignment, and zero compression on the lower abdomen. Urologists and sleep specialists recommend a modified side-lying position, often referred to as the semi-fetal with hip support posture. That may sound clinical, but here's what it really means. You're lying on your side, not curled up, not twisted, with a pillow placed between your knees and a slight elevation under your upper arm or chest to prevent forward collapse. The spine stays in line, the hips stay level, and the bladder completely unpressurized. Why does this work so well? When you're in this position, your abdominal cavity opens up. Instead of compressing your bladder, your internal organs gently settle with gravity. Your spine isn't pulling your pelvic floor into tension. Your hip joints aren't torquing or twisting. And best of all, your body enters a true resting state. Clinical studies on nocturia, the need to urinate at night, have found that seniors sleeping in aligned side positions report fewer bathroom trips, longer sleep cycles, and less urgency upon waking. In fact, one small sleep clinic trial found that simply placing a pillow between the knees improved bladder comfort in 3 out of 4 senior participants after just one night. But here's something most people miss. It's not just the position, it's the support. You can't just flip to your side and expect everything to change. If your knees are touching, your pelvis rotates. If your top shoulder caves forward, your lower back gets compressed. That's why the right pillow placement is key. Try this. Lie on your left side, place a soft pillow between your knees to keep the hips level, and rest your top arm on a folded towel or small pillow. This relieves pressure from the torso, stabilizes the spine, and creates a neutral posture that minimizes bladder stimulation. Why the left side? Some seniors report better results on the left due to how the digestive system rests. The stomach and colon curve that way, creating more abdominal space. However, both sides can work. It depends on what feels best for your body. And let's not forget breathing. When your spine is aligned and your chest isn't compressed, your breathing slows, your nervous system relaxes, and your bladder, which is also under nervous system control, becomes less sensitive. That's the part nobody talks about. Bladder urgency often begins in the brain, not the bladder. Making this small change may not seem like much, but it can mean the difference between waking up 3 times and waking up refreshed. It's not a cure, but it's a highly effective, low-effort adjustment that can stack the odds in your favor. And now that you know the ideal position, let's talk about what not to do. In the next section, we'll go over the common mistakes that seniors make while side sleeping, why these errors cancel out the benefits, and how to correct them in under 30 seconds using only items you already have at home. So, you've adjusted your position. You're sleeping on your side, pillow between your knees, spine aligned, but then you still wake up at 2 a.m. needing to pee. What gives? Here's the truth. Even when you're in the right position, a few small mistakes can completely undo the benefits, especially when it comes to bladder comfort and overnight relief. Let's start with the first one, letting your top shoulder collapse forward. This is incredibly common. You lie down on your side, get comfortable, and as you drift off, your top shoulder caves in and pulls your upper body into a curled, slightly twisted shape. It might feel cozy, but what's actually happening is your ribcage compresses downward, your abs tighten subconsciously, and you start pressing down on, you guessed it, your bladder. This small, unconscious movement reintroduces abdominal pressure and often leads to that familiar middle-of-the-night urgency. The second mistake, no support under the knees or hips. When your knees are touching and there's no pillow between them, your top leg usually slips forward. This twists your pelvis and spine, creating tension in the lower abdomen and often irritating the bladder nerves. You might not notice this right away, but within 30 to 60 minutes, your bladder does. And it starts signaling discomfort. The solution is simple. Even a small pillow or rolled-up towel between the knees can prevent this twist, reduce nerve tension, and protect your bladder's rest. And mistake number 3 is sneaky, sleeping on the edge of too soft or saggy mattresses. A lot of seniors instinctively sleep closer to the edge of the bed, especially if they expect to get up frequently during the night. But here's what happens. On most mattresses, the edge has the most give. Your hips and torso sink lower, pulling your spine out of alignment and angling your abdomen downward. That downward slope creates a kind of passive squeeze on the bladder, especially if your pillow is too tall or your top arm is pressing downward. Over time, this can lead to frequent wake-ups, poor sleep quality, and even daytime fatigue. Now here's the encouraging part. These mistakes are easy to fix. You don't need a new mattress or fancy equipment. A a basic pillow between your knees, a rolled towel to hug under your top arm. Even shifting a few inches away from the edge of the bed can restore balance to your posture and take the pressure off your bladder. And here's a bonus insight most people never consider. Your body remembers positions. If you spend years sleeping in a way that compresses your bladder, your nervous system adapts to wake you up faster, even before the bladder is full. But the good news? You can retrain it. Gentle, consistent nightly alignment helps reset that signal over time. In the next section, we'll take things even further, revealing a bedtime bladder release trick you can do before you lie down. It takes under a minute, helps your bladder relax fully, and is now being used in some of the most forward-thinking urology clinics as part of a natural solution for nighttime urgency. What if there were a simple 1-minute technique you could do before bed? No pills, no stretching, no equipment, that helps your bladder fully relax and reduces your chances of waking up in the middle of the night. Turns out there is, and it's rooted in how your body's nervous system and pelvic muscles work together. It's called the bladder drop and relax method, and urologists have recently started recommending it as a natural pre-sleep ritual, especially for seniors struggling with nighttime urgency. Here's how it works. Before you get into bed, find a quiet spot where you can stand or sit comfortably. Now take a deep breath in, filling your belly, not your chest. As you exhale slowly, let your belly soften, not tighten. Imagine you're gently dropping your lower abdomen, letting it hang loose. Most people are surprised by how much tension they hold here without even realizing it. That tension often compresses the bladder and triggers false signals that feel like urgency, even when the bladder isn't full. Now, while keeping your lower belly relaxed, contract your pelvic floor muscles very gently, just for 2 to 3 seconds. Not a hard squeeze, just a soft lift, like you're gently stopping the flow of urine. Then release. Do this 3 to 5 times, in sync with your breathing. Each time, aim to lift gently and relax fully. What you're doing is activating the neuromuscular loop between your bladder and brain, sending the message, we're calm, we're in control, and it's okay to rest. Over time, this trains your body to hold more comfortably overnight and reduces false alarm wake-ups. This trick works best right before lying down. Some seniors even do it after that last bathroom trip before bed to make sure their bladder's fully emptied and relaxed. Others find it helpful during nighttime wake-ups, a quick reset that helps them fall back asleep faster. And here's the science. Researchers studying behavioral interventions for nocturia found that combining deep breathing, pelvic floor awareness, and posture awareness helped reduce nighttime bathroom trips by up to 40% in older adults, especially those who weren't responding well to medication alone. It's not magic, but it is a simple, side effect-free strategy that taps into your body's natural control system. When combined with the right sleep position, it creates a powerful buffer against the constant interruptions of bladder pressure. Now imagine putting it all together, the right position, the small adjustments, and this 1-minute reset before bed. It starts to stack in your favor. Fewer wake-ups, deeper sleep, more energy in the morning. But what happens next? In the following section, we'll explore how your evening routine may be secretly sabotaging your bladder health, the top mistakes seniors make after dinner, and what to avoid in the final 90 minutes before sleep if you want real, lasting relief. You've got the right sleep position. You've added the 60-second bladder reset to your routine. But if your evenings are filled with hidden bladder triggers, all that effort can still be undone. The truth is, most seniors unknowingly overstimulate their bladders in the final 90 minutes before bed, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because certain habits seem harmless, until they start disrupting sleep night after night. Let's start with the most common one: sipping on healthy herbal teas late in the evening. Chamomile, peppermint, hibiscus. They're soothing, yes, but they're also natural diuretics, meaning they encourage the body to produce more urine. Even just half a cup an hour before bed can prime your bladder to fill faster while you sleep. If you're sensitive, that extra fluid load hits your system right around 1 or 2 a.m. And it's not just tea. Another major culprit? Hidden caffeine sources. Many seniors are aware that coffee can be a problem, but few realize that decaf still contains small amounts of caffeine, enough to irritate a sensitive bladder. And let's not forget chocolate, dark cocoa powders, even some protein shakes and fiber drinks marketed for digestion, all of which can quietly rev up bladder activity. Then there's screen time. Yes, your phone, tablet, or TV can affect more than just your melatonin. The blue light they emit stimulates the brain, yes, but it also triggers your sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for alertness and bladder signaling. If you're watching the news, scrolling through social media, or reading something intense right before bed, you might be unknowingly keeping your body in a mild state of fight or flight. And that tension doesn't just keep your brain awake, it can keep your bladder overactive too. Another overlooked habit? Late night snacking with salty or acidic foods. Even something as simple as a few crackers, pickles, or citrus slices can change the pH of your urine, irritating the lining of your bladder and making it more sensitive. That irritation sends urgency signals to the brain, even when your bladder isn't close to full. And lastly, and this surprises many people, going to the bathroom just in case before bed, even when you don't really have to go, can actually train your bladder to become less tolerant over time. It teaches your brain to respond to smaller and smaller volumes, which means more frequent wake-ups, not fewer. So what should your evenings look like instead? Ideally, stop fluid intake about 90 minutes before bed. If you're thirsty, sip a small amount of room temperature water, not cold. Avoid known irritants like caffeine, chocolate, alcohol, and acidic snacks. And give your brain a gentle wind down. Dim lights, soothing music, and no stressful or dramatic TV. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of calm, screen-free quiet time before bed can signal your nervous system to slow down, which includes calming the bladder. These aren't rules, they're options. And the more of them you layer in, the better your sleep tends to get. You don't need perfection, you just need patterns your body can rely on. Coming up next, a real senior success story. Someone who went from 4 wake-ups a night to sleeping straight through, all without medications, surgeries, or drastic lifestyle changes. You'll hear exactly what she changed and how her nights and mornings transformed in just a few weeks. Meet Judith. She's 74, sharp-minded, full of life, and fiercely independent. But for the past 5 years, she had one issue she couldn't solve: waking up almost every 2 hours to use the bathroom. Her days were fine, but her nights? A cycle of half-sleep, anxiety, and exhaustion. She tried cutting fluids after 7 p.m. She tried herbal teas, magnesium, even adult pads. Nothing worked. Worse, her doctor said, that's just part of getting older. But Judith refused to accept that. She was tired of feeling tired. And more than anything, she missed waking up clear-headed and energized, not foggy and frustrated. Then one day she stumbled onto a video, not about medications, not about bladder training, but about posture. Specifically how her sleep position might be silently pressing into her bladder and keeping her from reaching deep sleep. Skeptical but curious, she decided to try it. She swapped her old pillow for one that supported her neck and knees. She shifted from her usual stomach curl to a gentle left-side sleep with a pillow between her legs. It felt awkward at first, but after 3 nights, something changed. She still woke up, but only once. The next week she added in the 60-second bladder release technique before bed. Breathing, relaxing her belly, letting go of tension she didn't even know she was holding. Suddenly, a full night of sleep wasn't just a memory. It was happening again. She started dreaming again. Her blood pressure improved, her digestion improved, and most surprisingly, her mood changed. Judith described it as a return to herself. No more dragging through the day or snapping at small things. She had energy again, patience, joy, and she never took a single pill. Now, Judith keeps a short nightly routine. She winds down with soft music instead of the news. She drinks a little chamomile tea at dinner time, not right before bed. She keeps her sleep position aligned and never skips her pre-bed breathing. Is she perfect? Of course not. But her wake-ups are rare, and her mornings feel brand new. Judith isn't a one-off story. There are thousands like her, seniors who were told to just live with it, and instead found small, natural changes that gave them real results. And that brings us to you. In the next section, we're going to put all the tools together, a simple 3-part nighttime plan that you can try tonight. No appointments, no prescriptions, just natural bladder relief built around how your body actually works when you give it the chance to rest. You've seen the why, you've seen the how. Now let's bring it all together. In one simple 3-part plan you can start using tonight. No gimmicks, no routines that require an extra hour of your day. Just 3 smart habits that work with your body, not against it. Step 1. Align your body for bladder relief. When you lie down, your bladder should feel like it's resting, not bracing. That starts with positioning. Sleep on your side, ideally your left, with a pillow between your knees to keep your hips level. Make sure your top arm isn't collapsing forward, and that your pillow supports your neck without pushing your head too high. This setup relieves pressure from your abdomen, releases tension in your pelvic floor, and reduces false urgency signals. A few inches of better alignment can mean hours more sleep. Step 2. Reset your bladder. Before bed, before climbing under the covers, Spend just 60 seconds doing the bladder drop and relax method. Breathe deeply into your belly. On each exhale, feel your lower abdomen soften. Gently lift and release your pelvic muscles 3 to 5 times. Not a squeeze, just a soft signal to your brain. We're calm, we're in control. This short ritual trains your body to hold more comfortably and sleep more soundly. Step 3. Set the mood, not the alarm. Your bladder responds to stress, to overstimulation, to tension. So your job isn't just to empty it, it's to calm it. That means avoiding fluids in the final 90 minutes before sleep, skipping the news, sugar, and bright screens, and instead, winding down with something simple. A soft playlist, dim lights, a warm compress over your belly or lower back. These signals tell your nervous system it's time to let go, not stay alert. This isn't a fix-all, but it is a foundation. And for so many seniors, it's the shift they were never told about. A shift that finally gave them the rest they've been craving. Because better sleep doesn't start with a pill. It starts with a position, a breath, a choice. And the moment you give your bladder the support it needs, it often gives you the peace you've been missing. So here's the challenge. Try it tonight. Just for one night, follow all 3 steps. Then tomorrow, come back and tell us in the comments. Did it make a difference? Did you wake up less groggy? Did you sleep longer? Was your bladder quieter? We read every comment. And we want to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing. We post new videos every week with real, science-backed solutions designed specifically for seniors, to help you feel better, sleep better, and live stronger. You've made it this far. That means you care about your body, you care about your sleep, and you're not waiting around for someone else to fix it. That's where real change begins. If you're over 60 and sleep with this common device near your bed, you could be unknowingly disrupting your heart's rhythm for 8 hours straight. I'm not talking about junk food, alcohol, or lack of sleep. I'm talking about a gadget millions of seniors use every single night. Without realizing it may be increasing their risk of arrhythmia, anxiety, and even early morning stroke. As a heart health specialist, I've seen patients suffer memory fog, panic attacks, and sudden exhaustion, all traced back to one object placed less than 2 feet from their pillow. If you have it near you right now, don't move. I'm going to explain exactly why it matters. If you're over 60 and sleep with this common device near your bed, you could be unknowingly disrupting your heart's rhythm for 8 hours straight. I'm not talking about alcohol, or stress, or snoring. I'm talking about something most seniors consider completely harmless. Something that glows softly on the nightstand, vibrates silently in the early morning, and stays just inches from your body until sunrise. Your smartphone. Yes, your phone, or tablet, or even your smartwatch. These small wireless gadgets emit a form of electromagnetic frequency, EMFs, that can affect your heart rate variability, HRV, especially during deep sleep. And HRV is no small metric. It's the single most powerful indicator of how well your nervous system recovers overnight. Low HRV has been linked to stroke, heart attack, blood pressure instability, and accelerated aging of the cardiovascular system. Most people don't even know what it is until it's too late. As a heart health specialist, I began noticing a pattern in my older patients. They'd report waking up exhausted, restless, or anxious without knowing why. They'd say, "I slept through the night, but I don't feel rested." That's when I started asking a simple question. Do you sleep with your phone by your bed? Over 80% said yes, and in some cases, it was right under their pillow. Let me tell you about one of them, Mr. Gerard Blake, age 73, a retired accountant from Portland. He didn't drink, didn't smoke, walked daily, took all his medications on time, but he started waking up feeling wired and tired. His heart rate on waking was oddly high, and by mid-afternoon, he'd feel drained and foggy, like his body was stuck in fight or flight mode. We ran cardiac tests, no arrhythmia, no major issues. But when we measured his HRV overnight using a clinical-grade monitor, the data was shocking. His HRV dropped by 40% every time his phone was on and within arm's reach. When he moved the phone to another room, even without turning it off, his HRV improved. He felt calmer in the morning, more focused, less tense. His sleep became restorative again. That one change, removing the EMF source from his sleep space, transformed his nights and his days. Here's what most seniors don't realize. Your body, especially over 60, is far more sensitive to invisible stressors. And EMF exposure from wireless devices can overstimulate your sympathetic nervous system while you sleep, preventing deep recovery. That means your heart never fully relaxes. Your stress hormones stay elevated, and your blood vessels become less responsive. Now, this isn't about fear. It's about knowledge. And one simple change in your nighttime routine could make a dramatic difference. But if smartphones shocked you, wait until you hear what your cordless landline is doing, even when it's turned off. The next section might just convince you to unplug for good. If you're like many seniors, you've kept your landline phone as a safety net, just in case the power goes out or your cell battery dies. And in most cases, it's a cordless one. Convenient, portable, always close by on the nightstand, ready to ring in case of an emergency. But here's what you may not know. That cordless base emits pulsed electromagnetic fields, 24 hours a day, even when the handset is docked, even when it's turned off. And these EMF emissions are far more intense than what your cell phone gives off while idle. I've seen patients unknowingly sleep within 2 feet of their cordless landline base, and night after night, their heart rate variability drops, their cortisol stays elevated, and their parasympathetic recovery, the system your body uses to calm down, never fully activates, which means they wake up in a low-grade fight-or-flight state and their cardiovascular system stays tense all day. Take, for instance, Mrs. Emily Waters, age 76, from Kansas. She was healthy by every measure, took daily walks, cooked her meals, stayed mentally sharp. But for months, she experienced strange nighttime symptoms: tightness in her chest, occasional racing heart, and morning nausea. Every test came back clean. Her cardiologist said she was fine, but she didn't feel fine. When I asked about her sleep environment, she mentioned a cordless landline base she kept just in case right next to her bed. I asked her to unplug it for 1 week. That was all. Within days, her symptoms eased. Her sleep improved. Her blood pressure, which had been subtly fluctuating at night, finally stabilized. You see, DECT phones, digital enhanced cordless telecommunications, operate on their own frequency. Unlike old landlines that only transmitted sound during calls, DECT bases constantly ping back and forth with the handset, even when you're not using them. And that wireless chatter doesn't just float in the air. It interacts with the electrical fields in your body, especially your heart and nervous system. For seniors, whose vascular systems are already more fragile, the impact can be far more profound. Here's the hidden danger. Most people assume off means safe. But with EMFs, standby mode still transmits. And when your bedroom becomes a low-level radiation zone, your brain interprets that as a threat. Heart rate variability drops, sleep becomes shallow. And over time, the risk of blood pressure instability, irregular heartbeat, and even small vessel clotting increases, especially in the early morning hours when stroke risk is naturally higher. And this isn't just about phones. The next device may surprise you even more. It's something seniors often use for comfort, for breathing, for better rest. But under certain conditions, it can backfire, causing oxygen swings, stress spikes, and disrupted heart patterns throughout the night. Let's talk about the hidden cardiac risks of CPAP machines, especially for those who use them without proper calibration. CPAP machines save lives. For seniors with sleep apnea, they're often the gold standard, keeping airways open, preventing oxygen drops, and reducing nighttime wake-ups. But here's what many seniors don't know. When a CPAP is improperly calibrated, used without reassessment, or paired with certain medications, it can silently sabotage your heart rate variability and raise your risk of cardiovascular instability. Why? Because breathing isn't just about oxygen, it's about rhythm. Your heart and lungs work in harmony. When you inhale, your heart rate subtly rises. When you exhale, it slows. This natural wave, called respiratory sinus arrhythmia, is one of the key drivers of healthy heart rate variability. But when a machine forces airflow at a constant rate, that rhythm gets interrupted. And over time, the body's ability to switch between rest and alertness weakens. Let me introduce you to Mr. Malcolm Dyer, 79, a retired jazz musician from New Jersey. He'd been diagnosed with moderate sleep apnea and was prescribed a CPAP machine by his pulmonologist. He used it faithfully, never missed a night. But instead of feeling energized in the morning, he started waking up feeling drained, anxious, and oddly jittery. His wife noticed his breathing seemed too mechanical while he slept. When I reviewed his case, I noticed a pattern. His HRV was flatlining. No rise, no fall, just a dull, shallow pattern across 8 hours. His CPAP pressure hadn't been recalibrated in 2 years. And worse, he'd started a new heart medication 6 months prior, which further suppressed his cardiac flexibility. We made 2 changes. First, we referred him back for a CPAP pressure reassessment. Turns out, the machine was over-delivering airflow, keeping his chest in a state of micro-expansion all night. Second, we coordinated with his cardiologist to time his meds differently. Within weeks, Malcolm's HRV bounced back. His morning anxiety disappeared, and for the first time in a year, he described his sleep as restful. Here's the truth most CPAP users aren't told. Oxygen delivery alone isn't the whole picture. If the rhythm is wrong, your body still interprets it as stress. Heart rate variability suffers, blood pressure regulation weakens, and the delicate dance between your nervous system and your cardiovascular system falls out of sync. If you use a CPAP, check your pressure settings regularly. Work with a sleep specialist, and make sure your medications aren't suppressing your body's ability to recover overnight. Because when heart rate variability drops too low for too long, recovery fades, and the risks rise quietly, night after night. And if that concerns you, brace yourself, because the next disruptor isn't even plugged in. It's built into your room, your walls, your bulbs, and for some seniors, it's keeping the brain in day mode all night long. Let's talk about bedroom lighting, circadian chaos, and how the wrong glow might be hardwiring your heart into stress. Your bedroom is supposed to be your recovery zone, a sanctuary for rest, healing, and quiet repair. But if you're over 60 and your room is bathed in the wrong kind of light, whether it's from a hallway lamp, an overhead bulb, or even a digital alarm clock, you might be sending your heart and brain the wrong message for 8 hours straight. That message? Stay alert. Here's why it matters. Your heart isn't just responding to your thoughts, it's responding to light. And when your brain perceives blue or white-toned light at night, especially after sunset, it suppresses melatonin, activates cortisol, and tells your sympathetic nervous system to stay in go mode. That means your heart rate stays slightly elevated, your blood pressure doesn't drop like it should, and your heart rate variability, the measure of restfulness, flattens out. I've seen this pattern play out dozens of times. Seniors who do everything right, eating healthy, exercising, even taking their meds on time, but still wake up feeling wired, anxious, or emotionally off. They say things like, "I slept, but I didn't feel rested," or "I always wake up between 3 and 4 a.m. and can't go back to sleep." Let me tell you about Mrs. Bernice Holloway, age 81, from Arizona. She was vibrant, witty, and deeply committed to her wellness routine. But for months, she couldn't shake this fogginess in the morning. Her heart rate would rise unexpectedly around 4 a.m., and her blood pressure, normally stable, was fluctuating wildly at night. She'd had every test under the sun. Nothing looked abnormal. When I asked her to describe her bedroom environment, she mentioned something small, an overhead LED light she kept on dim at night because she didn't want to trip during bathroom visits. It had a cool white glow, bright, sterile, almost bluish, and it stayed on all night. That one bulb was enough to disrupt her circadian rhythm. Her melatonin never peaked, her heart never downshifted, and her HRV data showed a flat line during the hours she should have been in deep sleep. We replaced that light with a warm amber night lamp on a motion sensor. Within a week, her sleep stabilized. Her HRV improved. Her blood pressure settled into a natural drop at night. She described it as a fog lifting. Here's what most seniors don't know. Light is a drug. It enters through your eyes and tells your brain what hormones to release. Blue light stimulates. Red light calms. And the difference between healing and harm could be the tone of the bulb above your head. So if you have overhead LEDs, hallway fluorescents, bright digital clocks, or TVs glowing in the background, know this: your heart is listening. And it may be staying alert all night when it should be recovering. But if light can confuse your heart, wait until you hear what background noise does. The next disruptor is one most people don't even notice until their heart starts skipping beats at 3 a.m. Let's talk about bedroom sound frequencies and the dangerous link between nighttime noise, irregular heart rhythms, and sleep fragmentation in seniors. You might think your bedroom is quiet enough. No loud TVs, no barking dogs, just a soft hum from the fan, maybe the distant hum of traffic outside, or the familiar low-pitched buzz from your white noise machine. But here's the truth. Not all noise is created equal, and for seniors, certain background sounds are doing far more harm than good. Your heart doesn't just beat on its own schedule. It listens, constantly, to your breath, your thoughts, and yes, even your environment. And when your ears detect certain frequencies, especially those in the low hum or high-pitch range, your brain interprets them as signals of stress. That subtle perception increases your heart rate, suppresses your HRV, and reduces the deep, restorative stages of sleep your cardiovascular system depends on. I had a patient, Mr. Nolan Pierce, age 84, from Seattle, who came to me after weeks of restless nights. "I'm not tossing and turning," he said. "I'm sleeping, but I wake up with my heart pounding, almost like I've been running in my dreams." He was healthy. His echocardiogram was clean. But his wearable HRV monitor showed fragmented patterns, bursts of stress response every 90 minutes like clockwork. When I visited his home for an environmental consult, I noticed something subtle. He had a fan running on low, barely noticeable but producing a low-frequency mechanical hum that fluctuated just slightly in pitch. It's a frequency many seniors can't consciously hear well, but the autonomic nervous system does. And the result? Sleep that looks normal on paper, but leaves the heart exhausted by morning. Here's what we know from sleep medicine. Sounds under 30 decibels, especially those that shift unpredictably, like a humming air purifier, refrigerator cycling on and off, or distant traffic, trigger micro-arousals. These are small, subconscious awakenings that prevent you from entering deep REM sleep or slow-wave sleep, which are crucial for resetting the heart's electrical patterns. Over time, those disturbances wear down your HRV. Your heart stays on edge. Your nervous system never drops into full parasympathetic mode. And the next day, you feel it. Exhaustion, brain fog, heart palpitations that appear without warning. And if this continues long enough, it can even increase your risk of arrhythmias or early morning blood pressure spikes. We switched Mr. Pierce's fan to a pink noise generator, one with consistent, non-fluctuating sound waves. We placed rubber feet under his mini fridge to reduce vibration, and within 2 weeks, his HRV jumped by 30%. He stopped waking up with heart flutters. And best of all, he said, "My dreams came back. I didn't realize I hadn't dreamed in months." That's the kind of signal your body gives when it's truly healing. If you're over 60 and waking up with your heart racing, don't ignore it. It's not just aging. It might be your environment whispering tension into your heart, hour after hour. And if subtle sound can throw off your sleep rhythm, the final disruptor might shock you even more. It's not electronic. It's not even mechanical. It's something you wear. And millions of seniors rely on it every night, thinking it's helping. Let's talk about sleep trackers, and how obsessing over your numbers might be silently hurting your heart. It's supposed to help. A high-tech wearable that tracks your sleep, counts your steps, measures your heart rate, and tells you how recovered you are each morning. But for many seniors, these devices, Fitbits, Apple Watches, Oura Rings, even smart mattress sensors, can quietly become a source of overnight stress, not wellness. And the irony? The more closely you monitor your sleep, the worse your sleep becomes. I've seen it time and again in patients over 60 who mean well. They wear their device to bed every night, hoping for insight, reassurance, or motivation. But when they wake up and see a poor sleep score, or worse, obsess over a slight drop in HRV or REM sleep percentage, their stress response activates. Their cortisol spikes. They panic. Did I sleep wrong? What does this mean for my heart? Why do I feel okay but the app says I didn't recover? This constant feedback loop turns sleep into a performance, not a process. And for an aging nervous system, that pressure alone is enough to suppress HRV over time. Let me share the story of Mrs. Eleanor Sandler, age 80, a retired school principal from Massachusetts. She was sharp, disciplined, and health conscious. A few months after getting a new sleep tracker for her birthday, she began noticing something odd. Even on days when she felt fine, her device would give her a low readiness score. "It says I only had 15% deep sleep," she told me. Should I be worried? Over time, her bedtime routine shifted. She stopped reading in bed, fearing it would confuse the tracker. She avoided drinking water late, even when thirsty, to avoid disruptions. She became anxious before sleep, fearing she'd ruin her score. The result? Her HRV plummeted. She started waking with tension headaches. Her blood pressure rose. And worst of all, she began fearing her own sleep. We ran her through a sleep lab study. Her brainwaves showed she was getting adequate deep and REM sleep, but her perception, driven by that tracker, was convincing her otherwise. That false sense of failure activated her sympathetic nervous system, triggering low-grade stress throughout the night. After we removed the tracker, her symptoms vanished within weeks. Her sleep returned, her heart rate settled, and her HRV gradually climbed back to a healthy range. She told me, "I didn't realize how much I was outsourcing trust in my own body to a device." Here's what you need to understand. HRV isn't just data. It's a reflection of how safe your body feels. And the moment you start fearing your sleep, your body treats bedtime as a threat. That's when recovery collapses. If you enjoy tracking your sleep, do it occasionally, maybe once a week. But don't obsess. Don't judge yourself based on numbers alone. And never let a screen override how you actually feel. Because sometimes, the most dangerous gadget in your bedroom isn't loud, bright, or even on. It's the one convincing you that your body isn't doing its job, when in reality, it's doing everything it can to protect you. But now that you've identified the 6 hidden disruptors of heart rate variability while you sleep, what next? Let's move into a simple 5-step bedroom reset protocol, proven to protect your heart, boost your HRV, and help you sleep like you did decades ago. So, now you know. It wasn't your age, it wasn't bad luck, and it certainly wasn't all in your head. The real reason you've been waking up tired, tense, or with your heart racing might have been quietly buzzing, blinking, or glowing right beside you all along. These gadgets, designed to help, can backfire in the aging body, because past 60, your heart listens differently, your nervous system resets differently, and your margin for stress is thinner than you think. But if these 6 disruptors are already in your bedroom, what else might be affecting your heart from the outside? Because next, we're diving into what's happening just beyond your walls, in your neighborhood, your appliances, even your daily habits, that could be silently lowering your HRV and pushing your cardiovascular system into crisis. And the most surprising trigger? It's in nearly every senior's kitchen. We'll talk about that in the next video.